Let's begin with the basic rules of play. So the first article gives us an idea about the nature and objectives of the game of chess. Normally, like the players will call us for illegal moves. So let's see later what illegal move actually is and which article it comes from. So let's begin with the basic rules of play. So the first article gives us the nature and objectives of the game of chess. So the game of chess is played between two opponents who move their pieces on a square board called a chessboard. So they have just given an idea about what like chessboard is. That's it. So the player with the light colored pieces white makes the first move. So what if the black plays the first move? So let's go to that later. So white makes the first move, then the player moves alternatively, with the player with dark colored pieces or black making the next move. So what if white makes two moves, or if black makes two moves? So that's what we'll be dealing with later. So here this article just gives us an idea about the chess board. Like there are two opponents, so one with white pieces and other with black pieces, or in other way, light colored piece and dark colored pieces. So the third one, a player is said to have the move when his opponent's move has been made. In the sense, if white has made the move, only then the black could make the move. Or else white could make the move only when black had made the move. So that is what it says. A player is said to have the move. That's what they mean. Have the move when his opponent's move has been made. So a player is having the move only when the opponent has made this move. So one player cannot make two moves. That's what they're clear about. The fourth one, the objective of each player is to place the opponent's king under attack in such a way that the opponent has no legal moves. So few will say like I have just given three checks, 10 checks, 100 checks, whatever it is. Chess.com has an option called three check win or three check meet. The player gives three check, it's a win. So it is not in the FIDE rule book actually. So a player may give any number of check, but a game is set to be done. Like the objective of this game is to make sure the king is under attack and the opponent's king doesn't has any legal moves. So if our king is under attack and if we doesn't have any legal moves, then the game is done. If the opponent's king is under attack and if the opponent's king doesn't has any legal moves, then the game is done. That's what the objective is all about. It's not like I have captured many pieces, I have given so many checks. That's not. Let's come back to the illegal later. So when there are two illegals, it's a loss as of now, but let's come back to that later. So this 1.4 has a subdivision, that is a player who achieves this goal is said to have checkmated the opponent's king and to have won the game, leaving one's own king under attack, exposing one's own king to attack, and also capturing the opponent's king is not allowed. So it means so we shouldn't leave our king under attack and try to checkmate the opponent. We shouldn't expose our king, like whenever our king is in danger, we can't just checkmate. Our king is under check, we won't be able to checkmate the opponent. And we can't just tell the opponent like if we have checkmated and the opponent is still moving his king or other pieces, we can't capture the king and tell the arbiter or someone, okay, I have just captured. That is also not legal. So we need to checkmate. That's the only way to win the game. The next subdivision in 1.4 is the opponent whose king has been checkmated has lost the game. So suppose if white's king has been checkmated, then white has lost the game. If the black king has been checkmated, then black has lost the game. So this is the basic thing, like how the chess game ends. The fifth one. If the position is such that neither player can possibly checkmate the opponent's king, the game is drawn. So they have given an example here. So here in this example, all the pawns have been blocked. So there is no like option for the opponent to checkmate, or the king can't come inside the opponent's territory. The bishop can't move. It's not possible. So it's not possible for the king to get in, and the opponent cannot also move because it's a light colored bishop which can move only to light colored squares. and the black color or the dark colored bishop can only move to the dark colored squares. So in this case, there is no possibility that the opponent can check me. So this is the position where it's a clear draw. So here we can't just make a 50 move rule or something like the opponent, if at all, like if you are looking at this position, then the game is drawn. We can't just tell the opponent, okay, it is just 2 moves or 2 seconds, or the opponent has made already an illegal move, the opponent could make another illegal move. So they have just given clearly that if the position is such that the neither pair can possibly checkmate the opponent's king, the game is drawn. So they are asking us to refer the article 5.2.2 over here. So let's see what is 5.2.2 so that we'll just get an idea what this 5.2.2 says here. So that will give us a reference here. The game is drawn when a position has arisen in which neither player can checkmate the opponent's king with any series of legal moves. That's what I'm talking about. We can't just say like the opponent might make an illegal move or there's a possibility for an illegal move and so that the king could enter the opponent's territory. That's what not possible. The game is set to end in a dead position. This immediately ends the game. This is what far more important. Suppose sometimes what happens is the player might have like 15 seconds, the opponent might have 5 minutes, and he'll be saying I have a good position to win. That's not possible. So when the player doesn't has its in a dead position, we can't just wait for anything. This immediately ends the game, provided that the move producing the position was in accordance with article 3 4.2 4.7. Article 3 says the moves should be legal, like what are the moves of the pieces and how it should be done. That's what the Article 3 says. And they are talking about in 4.2 point. Okay, here they're talking about 4.2 and 4.7. So we need to see what this 4.2 and 4.7 says. Only then we could declare the game as drawn. The 4.2 says only the player having the moves, okay, can adjust, and any other physical contact with the piece for real accident, for example, will be considered the game time. So we need to be say I adjust or something. That's the basic things that needs to be done. And in 4.7, as a legal move or part of legal move. So this scenario should also be considered. So let's see what it is based on like when we come on to this article 4, which says the act of moving pieces. So this 1.5, which says this is a dead position, we need to be declare the game as draw. If neither player can win when the game is automatically decided as a draw, the arbiter should therefore step in to declare. So we need to step in this position. Neither player has mating potential. The position is such that neither player can get checkmate, known as dead position. The simplest example is king. When there are two kings, we can't expect the opponent king to come near the king and deliver a illegal move or something like that. We need to step in. That's what for more important over here. We need to step in to declares a draw. So the following where white has just paid h5. So here white played h5 and automatically what happens here is it's an example of a dead position. So we need to step in and declare it as a draw. So let's see like one more article today, article 2. So the initial position of the pieces on the chessboard. So the chessboard is composed of an 8 by 8 grid, 64 squares, white squares, dark squares alternatively. Like the chessboard is placed between the players in such a way that the near corner square to the right of the player is white. The bottom right should be here. The bottom right should be a white colored square. So at the beginning of the game, white has 16 light colored pieces, so they should have arranged it properly. A white king usually like it has K and the queen, Q, rook, bishop, knight, and the pawn we don't denote it as anything. And similarly for the black pieces. So this is how they work. So the similar option, queen, rook, bishop, knight. So this is what is called as starting pieces. So generally there is FIDE regulated piece or advised piece that it should be as Staunton pieces. Okay, so there comes the initial position of the pieces on the chessboard. So this needs to be an initial position. Sometimes what happens is, well, a few cases where the bottom right will be dark red square, and nowadays like we have like white, black that's printed on the chessboard, and some few cases like where the white queen will be on the black square and the black queen on the white square. This happens sometimes, and sometimes like the knight or bishop might be placed. Sometimes game like they might have just arranged it like the bishop and knight must might be misplaced on with the same board, like without the player even noticing it they might have started to make the moves. So this should be the initial position. Let's see what needs to be done if that initial position is not set later. So this is the basic initial position. So the vertical columns are called files, the horizontal rows are called ranks, and the diagonals over this is called a diagonal. So, so chessboard is made of different materials. It has a different link. So, the general thing what we need to know is a player can adjust pieces during the game only when it is his move. So this article has arisen because when like there are two grandmasters, they are playing the opponent like the one grandmaster is having just 10 seconds in his clock. Suddenly, the opponent cannot interfere, telling that I adjust the pieces. So these articles, like it's been like being developed based on their like case studies and based on their suggestions. That's how it's been developed. So this is how this article is developed. We can say adjust or Jiadu only when it's our move. Suppose if white plays, only white could adjust the pieces, and when black plays, only black could adjust the pieces. So we can't expect the white player to adjust the black pieces during black's move, or white player to adjust his own pieces during the opponent's move or black's move. So the reason, just the basic reason is it's like interfering and disturbing the opponent. That's what we shouldn't do. So Article 3, which is more important in our laws, because normally nowadays like players like ask for, okay, the legal he has played in his left hand, he has played his right hand, like what happens. So let's begin with the basic moves, what Article 3 says, and then let's see what an illegal move is. Okay, Article 3, the moves of the pieces. So this article is very important as part of an arbiter. So whatever the arbiter is, like we are into a chess zone or a playing area where we are working as an arbiter, this article 3 plays a very important role. So article 3, the moves of the pieces. So here it is not permitted to move a piece to a square occupied by a piece of the same color. So, it is not permitted to move a piece to a square occupied by a piece of the same color. So, this generally means that, okay, just a moment, I think like we have only few minutes left. Okay, I'll just make sure